Okay, hello everybody and welcome. This is the Super Mario Kart 150cc tournament match. It's a winners quarterfinal and it's between Zarkov and DeaconEricson. I'll likely just call DeaconEricson Eric for most of the match because that's how I know him. And Zarkov I'll be calling Zarkov. So for anybody who's not been watching this before, this is going to be a single cup RTA speedrun best of 5 style competition. So Zarkov, as the lower seed of the two, gets a choice of which cup to push back to being played fourth. And Zarkov has pushed back Special Cup. And he's also advertising his love of Watford FC at the moment. So Special Cup will be the cup that gets played fourth if needed, and Eric, as the higher seed, will be able to choose which of the other 3 cups to start on. So just waiting for his choice to come in through. Okay, still not had the confirmation of what the first cup will be, but they'll be playing real-time attacks, speedruns of each cup. Each cup will take approximately 8 minutes. Mushroom Cup, the easier cup, should take slightly under 8 minutes. The other 3 usually take slightly over 8 minutes. But if you've been watching KVD play, you can see that some of the other cups can also be done in under 8 minutes too. Okay, have we had a choice yet? Nope. All we know is that Special Cup has been pushed back to fourth. So Eric entered this competition as the number 4 seed. And in the first round, he had a win against McNuggets, 3-1. He had quite a funny disqualification on Special Cup. And Zarkov entered the competition as the number 12 seed and defeated the number 5 seed, Bowser Kart 44, also 3-1. To a little bit of an upset in that match, but this one between Eric and Zarkov should be a very, very good game. Zarkov is usually very consistent. Eric's usually very fast, but I'm not sure how consistent he is in GP. To be honest, I've seen very little of his GP play. So we're still waiting on Eric to choose which of Mushroom Flower and Star he wants to start on. I'm sorry, Paul, but it really was quite funny, the mid-race feather DQ that Eric got himself on Special Cup. And it looks like we're still waiting on Eric. Hopefully he won't be too much longer here. This match has the potential to probably go 4 or 5 cups. Is there a clip of a DQ? It's saved in past broadcasts, so I'm sure somebody could find a time-stamped clip of it. To be honest, all he did was the lap 5 feather, which is allowed, is banned on laps 1 to 4 because Lucky 2 then, you don't just trigger the lap, Lucky 2 also puts you down half a lap ahead as well. So it's essentially an entire lap skip. He did that, I think, on lap 3, and that was just an instant DQ. So the winner of this match will go on to play the tournament number 1 seed and the very strong favourite, KVD. KVD, who came past Fire Waster yesterday, and I believe Hattock the day before. Both his wins came 3-0, 3-0. And in the other semi-final, we have Bat Mallard, who beat me on Friday night, and he'll be playing the winner of Lafungu and Jamu. Lafungo and Jamu, who should be playing tomorrow, I believe. That should be a very good match between Lafungo and Jamu. And it's always interesting to watch Jamu play. She is the only person really left in the tournament who's playing as a non-heavyweight character with Mario. Actually, I say that Harry Yak down in losers round 2, waiting to play Aaron. I believe he probably won't be playing as a heavyweight character either, but might be rocking the Toad Cooper instead. Tomorrow at midnight. So when you say midnight, John, is that midnight Central European time? I'd assume so. If it was midnight Eastern US, that would make you playing at about 6 a.m. in the morning. So that would be 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Lafungo and Jamu. Yeah, there is really no shame in rocking Toad Cooper. There's a French player called Didier Bigot, or Bigot as we call him, who rocks the Cooper in GP every single World Championships, and I think he got to like top 16 using Cooper last time. He's pretty decent with them. Better than I am with Bowser or Luigi. So we're still waiting on Eric, apparently. Here we are over on SpeedGaming 5. With this delay, it's probably just as well we're on one of the lower channels. I see your link to Pass Randomizer League started up on the main SpeedGaming channel, so they'll be getting by far the majority of the views going on tonight. I do like myself some link to the Pass Randomizer. I've never joined any of the tournaments. I'm not really that good. On a general kind of like standard or open seed, it usually takes me about 2.5 hours to work my way through. I have fun doing it, but no intention of ever trying to do it at the level of some of the players on this SpeedGaming tournament who don't seem to forget anything when they're playing. What else have we got going on SpeedGaming tonight? We've got a Super Mario World Tournament going on. Castlevania, Aria of Sorrow. Never played that game. And some Super Mario Sunshine 2v2. And over here on SpeedGaming 5, we're waiting for Eric. Actually, Aaron, it's Cooper Beach 2 that is Zarkov's favourite track to play time trials on. Zarkov's saying he'll play some battle mode while we wait. I just played some battle mode online. I think we played 96 rounds of battle mode in the last 2.5 hours or so. Maybe even near 3 hours. We were hoping to get through 100 rounds before I had to jump onto comms. But we got about 96 in, to be honest. If I'd known we were going to be so late starting, I probably would have just finished off those 100 rounds. And it was all on Battle Course 1 as well. Just rapid fire, rinse and repeat. Okay, it looks like Zarkov's going to demo some time trialing. Heading over to Cooper Beach 2. This is well known to be Zarkov's favourite track to time trial in the entire game. He's now going to drive backwards. And apparently Eric is now here. He's actually playing around at Matt's house, so it was Matt who set everything up ready for him to go. And then we're just waiting for Eric to walk through the door, which apparently Eric has now walked through the door. And Eric has said that we will be starting on Star Cup. Everybody's favourite cup in PAL. It's absolutely horrible in PAL, but thankfully for these two, we're playing NTSC tonight, so Star Cup is nowhere near as bad. In my opinion, by far the worst cup in NTSC 150 is Special. Speaking to Carol about it, apparently he still thinks Star Cup is the worst, but that's because he can actually drive Special, unlike 99% of everybody else who's playing Super Mario Kart. So what we should see is both players setting their menus. So they'll go in, choose the character, choose the speed, or choose Star Cup, and then they'll exit out of it. And what that does is it saves that entire menu progression, so that when they do start their run, all they have to do is hammer the yellow button all the way through. So Zarkov has selected Star Cup. He'll now quit out. We go back to the main menu. And Eric's just doing the same. So both players are now ready. So there'll be a countdown in chat, which will be handled by one of our tournament admins. I'm a number 1 seed, SMK Machine, aka KVD. So for those who are watching in chat, it's probably going to be about 30-second stream delay between the go you see in chat and the go you see on screen. Both of these players I expect to use Bowser, though I haven't really seen Eric stream much, so there's a chance he might pick DK. I wasn't watching when he did his menuing. But most people would choose Bowser over DK, even though they play identically, simply because by choosing Bowser, you take CPU Bowser out of the equation, and he has by far the worst kind of hitbox item usage. Oh, Eric got menu demoed. That's going to lose him about 4 seconds. A bit of naivety from Eric in his setup. Oh, Clark hits the Zarkov hits the CPU off of his zoom start. Eric gets away clean. So Eric's at full speed. Zarkov is trying to get back up to full speed. So despite the menu shenanigans getting in the way for Eric, he's actually now ahead of Zarkov. Oh, but he drowned on Carol's corner. So that's bringing it right back in, neck and neck again. Zarkov's up at full speed. He's taking the outside line. That's going to lose them a second or so. But I think on such a heavy MBT technical water slide track, I think if Zarkov can stay within 3 or 4 seconds here of Eric, he'll be very happy. So Eric gets a 48, which is probably more like a 52 with his menu issues. And Zarkov gets a 59. So I'm just watching for the menu fades. Ooh. That looked about 8 seconds. That can't be right. It's alright. Well, let's have a look at the timers. See when Zarkov goes versus Eric's timer. Yep, it is about 8 seconds between the two of them. So on this track, you want to see a feather. The feather takes what is ordinarily about a 12-second lap and cuts it down to about a 5-second lap. If you're not seeing feathers, you want to see mushrooms. Zarkov here might demonstrate a long boost. He missed it. So what he was trying to do was mushroom, into the wall, jump before he hits the wall so that you hit the wall on an upwards trajectory, and that locks your car into the mushroom speed for an extended period of time as you go bouncing all over the track. But it is quite difficult to do on this track. So coming into the last lap, a feather here would be a troll for either player. The feather shortcut's only really useful if you pick up a feather on laps 1, 2, 3 or 4. Eric with the 101. Zarkov with the mushroom. Will he go for another long boost? Yeah, that one wasn't really lined up very well. Zarkov with a 107. So that should extend Eric's lead out to about 14 seconds. Vanilla Lake 1, everybody's favourite track. It's a lovely simple track. It's just a nice little oval. You just turn right a few times and it's done. There's a few ice blocks here and there, a few pipes here and there, but they don't really get in the way. Nobody really minds those too much. Slight tone of sarcasm in my voice. This track is well regarded as just being a bad track. It's very simple. It's just littered with silly obstacles. The overabundance of ice blocks and the pipes, which have absolutely no business being on this track. If there were no pipes on this track, it would be quite playable, but just the combination of the pipes and the ice blocks just makes it ultra trolly. So Eric's had a really bad VL1. Players would look to probably be finishing around 50 to 55 seconds. Eric's looking like he's coming around in about 102. Zarkov slowing down a little, but he'll probably get a 53 or a 54 out of this. That's a lot of time caught up now. What was 14 seconds is probably about 5 seconds between the two of them. So the fourth track in Star Cup even, is Bowser Castle 3. Both of these players are playing on a US cartridge, which there's almost no difference between US version and Japanese version. The only difference really is on this track, where the CPU characters have been significantly nerfed to the tune of being about 15 seconds slower overall on the US version than the Japanese. There are other cosmetic differences between the two versions, but in terms of actual gameplay, the only real difference is the slowed down CPUs on the US version. So there shouldn't be any real issues of players ranking out. All they have to do is finish in the top 4 to progress through to the final track. If they finish outside of the top 4, then they get what's called a rank out, which will involve them having to replay the track. That's essentially where the biggest time loss in this game is. A crash might cost you 4 seconds. A rank out is going to cost you a minute and a half or more on this track even. There's only really, for high level players, there's usually only really 2 or 3 tracks where a rank out is ever going to be any issue at all. I mean, for the very top players, it's never going to be an issue. But even good players like these, there's always an outside chance of a rank out somewhere. For me, it's Rainbow Road. Once I start falling off on Rainbow Road, I'll fall off and fall off and fall off. So Eric with the 138. If he was playing on the Japanese version, he would have been swarmed by CPUs at the end of that. Zarkov with the 135, and it's very, very close as we go into MC4. Very little happens on MC4. I think the main hope that Zarkov has here is for the CPUs to snipe Eric with something like a mini shroom. A mini shroom would cost something like 7 or 8 seconds. Oh, Zarkov's going to have to do some push-ups by the looks of it. In the SMK community, every time you miss a zoom start, you're deemed to be required to do 10 push-ups. Although there is quite a lot of people don't think these push-ups are happening, because when we have our meets, everyone's not turning up really buff and strong, so, and we're all pretty bad. With the exception of Lafungo, we're all pretty bad at getting zoom starts. So it looks like Eric's extended his lead somewhat. He's about half a lap ahead with 2 laps remaining. There doesn't seem to be any particularly bad CPU item placements at the moment. Let's see if Cooper kicks the shell onto his turn. No. So the CPU is basically on lap 1 they can't do anything, but on laps 2 to 5 they can just use their items at will. And it's always a danger if you're going to be overtaking a CPUs that they'll just snipe you with an item. Like, it's entirely possible a banana could just land straight on Eric's head there, but it hasn't happened. And Eric will take it with what looked like an 8.35 for Star Cup. And Zarkov's coming around with what's going to be, what, an 8.44. Just slow down at the end. Eric just got off to the early lead in Cooper Beach 1, and there were some mess-ups along the way, but he just kind of maintained the lead after every single track. And MC4, it was always going to be a hard push to catch. So Zarkov, having lost that cup, has the next pick of cup. He can choose between mushroom and flower because special has been pushed back to 4th, and it looks like he's chosen mushroom cup. So we're seeing some of the celebration screens. So rather than actually set menus, because it's Mushroom Cup, the players can just tap the reset button, and that will remember all the selections like one player, 150cc, and the characters, but what it won't do is remember the cup, so it'll just start them straight on Mushroom. But it looks like we're going through the motions of going through all the menus and then exiting out anyway. So Mushroom Cup is the first cup of the game, therefore, in true Mario Kart fashion, it is the cup with the easiest tracks. But just because they're easy doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of time to be saved or lost. Especially with Ghost Valley 1, you can quite easily fall off on that one, lose 5 seconds. Bowser Castle 1, if you get a feather, you can take what is a 14-second lap and make it into a 7-8 second lap. Or you can jump into the lava and turn it into a 20-second lap. So Mushroom Cup, I know, is Zarkov's favourite cup. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him getting something in the 730 to 740 region if it goes well. Eric, I'm really not sure how good his Mushroom Cup is, but as the number 4 seed for the tournament, it's going to be pretty decent. Ooh. Eric missing the zoom on the first track of a cup, which is very unusual to see. So you get a double frame window on the first track of the cup because you're starting in last position. So you get an 8-frame window for the zoom start. On the tracks where you're starting in first, it's a 4-frame window. So that's an automatic 3-second dropped by Eric because missing the zoom on the first track, you don't have any CPUs behind you to give you a push. So Zarkov looks like he's on a fairly solid 51 pace. Maybe 50, yep. And Eric coming back with a 55. So Zarkov pulls 5 seconds out on MC1. Oh yeah, I'm being reminded to give Eric his point. I'll light up the star on Eric's display to signify that he won the first cup. So I expect Eric to catch some of the 5 seconds up on DP1. I think for Zarkov, a good DP1 is usually something like a 104, 105. For Eric, I would have said I'd expect him to be getting more like a 101, 102, but again, didn't get the zoom start. This is not a cup where you want to be missing zooms. So the main difficulty on this track is avoiding the CPUs as you lap them. The rest of the track is pretty easy, unless the CPUs, again, troll you with some really bad item placements. Like if they drop anything on that little bridge just after the start line, that makes building your boost to cut across the grass slightly difficult. But yeah, like that banana you saw there, that essentially stopped Zarkov from being able to boost. Yoshi with the egg, missed. So looks like a 106 into the 105s with the mushrooms. And Eric is having quite a bad donut planes 1. This is looking something like a 113 on the nose. So that's another 8 seconds nearly pulled out for Zarkov over Eric on that one track, which should take him out to about 13-second lead, assuming no times have been lost in the menus or due to lag. So that's Zarkov missing a zoom start, so that's 10 push-ups for him. Though, being the fitness fanatic that he is, he's probably doing 50 of them every morning anyway. Wow, Eric, full stop again. This has really not been a good mushroom cup so far for Eric. Zarkov keeping it fairly clean. He's not attempting the platform jump. I don't blame him, to be honest. By not attempting the platform jump on all 5 laps, you'll lose about 5 seconds overall, which is pretty much what you'd lose if you miss just one of the 5 platform jumps. Oh, DK was looking a bit distracting on Eric's side. I always find the platform jump the hardest when you've got CPUs in your kind of line of sight. So despite missing, well, both players missed the start actually, so Eric scored about 4 seconds up there. There is not another match tonight. The next scheduled match is tomorrow between Lafongo and Jarmu. Bowser Castle 1. Players will be looking out to try and get a feather. Feather will allow a significant shortcut to be taken. If they don't get a feather, they just want to try and keep it clean. Get something anywhere between like a 111 and a 1... Ooh. Zarkov's lost a fair bit of speed there. He'll be lucky to get back in much quicker than a 120 unless he can get a feather. Eric as well crashing out on the last corner of lap 2. So both players have made similar levels of mistakes. Zarkov completes lap 3 at around 51-second mark. No feather still. Eric's coming around, completing lap 3. Lost about a second and a half maybe to Zarkov so far. Avoiding Cooper. Lapping the CPUs again is the biggest obstacle in this track. As we see Cooper Trooper there, catching Eric. Oh, he's still behind Cooper Trooper. He's losing a lot of time here. Looks like Zarkov's getting a 122. Eric's still got a way to go. But he's dropped quite a lot of time to Zarkov on this track as well. And with MC2 up next, it's very easy to drive like a safe 106, 107 on MC2, assuming you get the zoom start. And even if Eric goes for 5 out of 5 long boosting strats, it's pretty much impossible for him to catch the time up unless Zarkov needs an absolute nightmare to happen for Eric to have any chance at this stage. So cleanly round lap 1 for Zarkov. Let's have a look at Eric. Will Eric be going for long boosts? Yes. So what we see there is Eric generates a boost before the zippers. When he hits the zippers, he presses hop, and that makes him hop into the wall behind the zippers, bounces him back onto the zippers, and locks him in a high-speed state for an extended period of time. So that can save you a good second or so each lap. Whereas Zarkov's just playing it safe. He should get a 106 if he can avoid all the CPUs here. And he'll take the cup in a high 740 something. He's even taking a super wide line. Looked like a 748, maybe 749. There we see Eric must have done a mushroom long boost for the speed he had going. He's going to have a slightly quicker, no, slightly slower MC2 in the end by 700ths. That is going to equalize it to 1 cup each. So I'll press the button for Zarkov. There we go. I was wondering what was happening with the star there. It just went dark for a second. So 1-1. This is a best of 5. So first person to win 3 cups to take the match. So special was pushed back to last. We've had star and mushroom played. So that means that the next cup played will be flour. So the players should be setting their menus for Flower Cup, where we'll be opening on Choco Island 1. It can be a very, very interesting track to watch if the players can get mushrooms and feathers. There's some nice tricks that can be done that save a significant amount of time. In terms of driving around the track, there's usually 2 approaches at this level. You'll have the players that are doing the wall hop and the players which aren't doing the wall hop. The wall hop saves somewhere like half a second to a second each lap, but comes with the intrinsic risk that you go for the wall hop and don't make it and go straight into the wall and lose 3 or 4 seconds. So I'm of the opinion that the wall hop is free if there's no CPUs around. When there are CPUs in that area, I do not go for the wall hop. So the players are off. Hopefully we'll get to see some mushrooms. If either player gets a mushroom, I would switch your attention to their screen. They'll trigger it shortly after the first corner. They'll do what's known as a long boost, which involves mushrooming into a wall, hopping just before you hit the wall, so you hit the wall on the upwards trajectory of your hop. There we go. So Eric, it looks like he's going to save his mushroom to the next lap. So if we look over to Eric's screen, we should see him pointing at the wall, mushrooming, jumping, going into an extended speed. Oh, that banana. He could have maintained that speed for a lap and a half. Oh, he went for an ill-advised wall hop when you're not at full speed there. So, despite having the mushroom, it's Zarkov who makes the last lap first. Is he going to go for a boost to the finish line? No, just going all the way around the outside. Eric does boost to the finish. And there's about 3/4 of a second between them. So, second track of Flower Cup is Ghost Valley 2. This personally is a track I absolutely hate. Not because it's difficult, but because the CPUs go so slowly that you're, from about the start of lap 3, you will just be constantly overtaking and overlapping CPUs. And the way the CPUs are programmed in this game, they're programmed to massively slow down whenever they reach any corner. And this track is essentially just all corners. So you're constantly meeting CPUs that are slowing down, and it makes it really hard to judge overtaking them sometimes. And it's especially coming into the last corner. You'll turn into the last corner and the CPUs will almost stop as you're turning around it, and you'll catch the edge of them and then get knocked off the track. At the moment, Zarkov's had some pretty good patterns. Eric had a very bad start to the track, and it's continuing to not go well for Eric. Zarkov with a 53. Eric still has a lap to go. He's going for a finish line further. That, I think, is possibly a very bad decision. I think he could have made up 11 or 12 seconds over the course of this cup. Now he's got a much bigger ask. You're talking, what, 25 seconds behind now? That is going to be very difficult to catch up. Although Zarkov missing the zoom, he's down to 0 coins. He's got back up to 4 coins. So coins serve two purposes in Super Mario Kart. Firstly, they give you additional speed. So every coin you pick up to 10 coins, gives you a little speed boost. In NTSC 150cc, the difference between having 0 coins and having 10 coins is somewhere between 7 and 8% of your base 0 coin speed. And the second purpose is they're almost like a health bar. So every time you get hit by a CPU, you'll lose a coin. But if the CPU hits you when you've got no coins, it'll cause you to spin out. And when you spin out, you're vulnerable to being hit by the next CPU down the line. And you can just get chained, where if one CPU hits you when you've got 0 coins, you spin out, you get hit by another CPU, you spin out, you get hit by another CPU, you spin out. And it can be very difficult to recover from there. So Eric has finally got around Ghost Valley 2. Unfortunately for him, Zarkov is nearly around DP2. So nearly a full track between them. Yeah, Eric's decision to go for the feather the first time round, it was not a sensible decision in my opinion. I can't see Zarkov ranking out on any of these cups, any of these tracks. You know, if we were playing Special Cup and Rainbow Road was still there, then maybe. But we're playing Flower Cup, and Bowser Castle 2 is fairly simple, and MC3 is fairly simple. Oh yeah, I could try and hype it up, but most of the people here watching us over on SpeedGaming 5 are probably well aware of the skills of Zarkov, and he's not going to mess up. What he does is he plays very solidly. He doesn't go for flashy, risky maneuvers. He just plays solidly, and if you want to beat him, you have to play solidly too. But in saying that, Zarkov is driving BC2 incredibly nicely. These first 3 laps were very fast. I'd like to see him get a feather. I'm not sure how accomplished he is with the feather finish on this track. Ooh, was that his own banana? One thing you need to do in this game is have spots selected where you get rid of your items. Maybe it wasn't his own banana, maybe it was DK's. So no feather finish, but still this is looking like a very good time for Zarkov. Can he get around in about 135? Oh, hits the thwomp. Still going to be 135. Fantastic. So we've got speculation on if Eric wins Special Cup, what the decider will be. If this does go to a fifth cup, then as per the rules, the player who won the fourth cup gets to veto one of the other gets to veto a cup, and the player who was 2-1 up after the third cup gets to pick which cup is played between the three remaining cups. So if Zarkov wins this cup, which he almost certainly will, then even if he loses on special, he'll still have the pick of 3 cups in the decider. I said he'd win this. He's not had a good first lap on MC3, but I do expect he'll get through the traffic without too much problems. Especially with Eric still having 2 laps to go on BC2. So for people who aren't familiar with these two players, Zarkov is a long-standing member of the SMK community. He's been around since pretty much the dawn of the game. In terms of our forum, he kind of predates the time when the forum was nearly lost back in 2006 when somebody nearly deleted it. So I'm not entirely sure when he first started playing this game, but it was a long time ago. Eric is more recent to our community, though I believe he's been playing the game since he was a kid with the rest of the cartel, Matt Ballard and Kyle. In terms of joining the community, I seem to remember Matt and Eric coming in maybe 2015, 2016 era. So that gives Zarkov a 2-1 lead. The fourth cup will be Special Cup. That's the one of the 4 cups that hasn't been played yet. This is one which Zarkov pushed back. As the lowest seed, he was able to push 1 cup back to be played fourth. He chose Special Cup. The main reason why is that Rainbow Road exists. And for unknown reasons, there are people that can play Rainbow Road and people that really can't play Rainbow Road. I'm very much in the category of I can't play Rainbow Road, I fall off, I get trolled by CPUs, I just can't handle it. And having watched Zarkov stream Rainbow Roads recently, he's in a similar boat. So Eric is just coming around to finish the cup. Should still have a lap to go. Yep. Going for a pipe boost. Wow, he got the pipe boost. We got a bit of swag going on Eric's stream. I think all but the kind of most in-the-know SMK players won't really understand what Eric was just doing. But he was generating an MBT boost and then... Well, he was storing a boost and then jumping into a pipe, using the bounce off the pipe to release the boost, which gives you an extended, slightly higher speeded boost. So you can cut more off-road section. In GP, it's almost pointless doing it. It saves tiny amounts of time. It's very much a time trialer strat where you're trying to save every last, hundredth and tenth of a second. But Eric just bashing out the swag there. So both players will be setting their menus up to go into Special Cup. Remember, the winner of this match will progress through to the winner's semi-final. And they'll be playing SMK_machine, aka KVD, aka Karel van Duigenboden, aka Trainer of carrier pigeons is what his name translates to. And the loser will be dropping down to the losers bracket. So they're currently match 15. So the loser of 15 will go on to play the winner out of Harry Yak and Aaron Langerag. So we should see them going shortly. Eric is now in strats where he's not going to get menu demoed. So nobody seems to have lost any significant time through the menu sections this time. Both players should get the zoom start because there's an 8-frame window when you're in 8th place. Both players get away. So what we're looking for here is mushrooms. Mushrooms allow you to basically bounce off of water at a high speed, and you gain enough height that you actually can go over walls. And you can jump a section of wall, which will reduce this track from being something like a 14-15 second lap down to about a 7-second lap. So there's a significant time save if you can get a mushroom here. And if you line it up, it's pretty much a free trick. You just need to be pointed roughly in the right direction and then press shroom. You don't need to jump or anything like that. As soon as you've hit shroom, it's automatic. All you need to do is start turning right once you're over the wall. But as of yet, we've not seen the mushroom. No mushroom for Zarkov on lap 4. Eric's having a slightly difficult donut planes 3 here. Into lap 5, both of them fairly close together here. No mushrooms for either. Zarkov losing a bit of speed there. Eric getting a 119. Oh, that was risky. So it is possible. I know certainly it's possible in match race to skip the lap by, or not trigger the lap by going all the way into the right and force you to go around a 6th lap. I assume it's the same in NTSC. I say I know it's possible in PAL because I did it last night in match race while I was playing Chris, so you can get punished for going for swag finishes. Okay, so Zarkov's got a mushroom. Let's watch his screen. He should be doing a long boost off of a wall. So I would not long boost off of that wall in NTSC. That's more of a PAL long boost positioning. I prefer to long boost just where Zarkov passed there, because the long boost in NTSC lasts so long. You can do it there and still take it all the way across the water section. So this is Zarkov's favourite track in the game. He's been known to spend many an hour time trialling it. Eric losing a little bit of speed on his last crossing, but he's across safely and gets a 56. Zarkov's coming around in about a minute. Gets the 59.99. Always nice to see a sub. So Cooper Beach 2 can be quite difficult if you get caught up in the CPUs, but both of the players were fairly clean there. Got around nicely. On to Ghost Valley 3. The easiest platform jump in the game. So if you watch Eric, just after the first corner, he'll be jumping across the gap, over to the little platform, cutting about 1.5 seconds off of the racing line. Okay, not ticking the zipper, just driving over it normally. Zarkov also just normally driving over the zipper. You can tick off a wall into the zipper and get into an extended high-speed position on the zipper. But there's very few players who actually go for that in this tournament. I think Carolo and Lafongo might be the only two. Oh, Zarkov turning far too late for that platform jump. Dan _H will not be impressed. So that should put about a lap between them. As Eric enters his last lap, Zarkov still has 2 to go. That banana could have been slightly awkward, but it wasn't too bad in the end. So, assuming Zarkov stays on, he's going to be about 14 seconds behind. Ooh. He turned that platform jump a little late there as well. He had to let go of the gas to stay on track. It's the 116. What's been used against me? I see Aaron Loungerock says he used it against me. I don't remember what he used against me. You see Manila Lake 2. This track can make people look like an absolute genius or an absolute fool. When somebody's going around at full speed, it looks majestic. When people aren't going around at full speed and they're drowning all over the place, it looks like an absolute nightmare. Significantly easier on NTSC than it is on PAL. Oh, Zarkov's in a rough spot. Oh, Luigi tagged him. And now he's caught into the back of a CPUs. This is not going to be fun. Oh, DK with the nudge into the deep water. And Eric's drowned as well on the last corner. Jumped out to the left. I don't know if there's any risk of triggering a lap 6 by doing that on this track or not. Okay, Zarkov getting all the mushrooms to get back through the CPUs. He needs to finish in the top 4. He should be fine. He should be fine. Yeah. Oh no, there's still another lap. Wow. I'm not used to seeing people come around this track at over a minute and still having another lap to go. But he takes the first place. Yeah, when I say lap 6, it is possible on some tracks to go. If you try and swag finish it by jumping to the side of the finish line, you can actually jump around the extent to which the finish line extends, and the game doesn't think that you've crossed the finish line and makes you go around another lap. I don't know whether that's possible to do on VL2. One of the tracks you see it the most is on Donut Plains 1, because naturally you'll be wanting to boost right along the wall on the right hand side at the finish. But if you're too far to the right, you kind of clip into the wall slightly by the finish line. You'll just cross the finish line without crossing the finish line and have a whole other lap to do. Yeah, Rainbow Road is nasty. I find this track really difficult. Like the first 3 laps are okay. It's when you start getting into the CPUs that it just becomes difficult, because I always seem to approach the CPUs on corners. Oh, Eric's fallen off. I mean, he's still got a good lead, but if Zarkov can pick up a feather, and if Eric falls off again, we could actually have a race on our hands. It's unlikely that Eric's going to fall off 3 times in a row on this last corner. And that will take it. 2 cups to each. We will have a decider. So in the decider, Eric will have veto. So he can pick one of the 4 cups that won't be played. And Zarkov will have choice of the remaining 3 cups as to which one gets played. I expect Zarkov to pick mushroom if it's available, flower if mushroom is vetoed. So Eric vetoes. Let's wait and see. So Eric has vetoed Mushroom Cup. So that means Zarkov has the choice between Flower, Star and Special. I expect he picks Flower. Zarkov doesn't agree with the veto on Mushroom, because Mushroom is his favourite track. It's going to be flour. Come on, Zarkov. Just say flour. It's going to be flour cup. What a shocker. So this is going to be the deciding cup of this match. The winner goes on to face KVD in a winners semi-final. The loser drops down to losers round 3, where they will face off against the winner of Harry Yak and Aaron Langerac. If you want to see some stuff about the bracket and the competition, have a look at that link there. So the players are just setting up their menu. I see the go in chat, so that means we'll be going probably in about 20 seconds on the stream. We saw first time round on this cup that Zarkov won. Eric had a rank out on Ghost Valley 2. So I'm sure Eric is going to be looking to have a much better flower cup than he did the first time around. If he gets the feather on Ghost Valley 2, it will be very interesting to see if he goes for the feather finish or not. And they're both off. So Chuck 1 and 1, we're going to be looking for mushrooms and feathers. Eric gets a lap 1 red. If you were playing a 2-player mode, a lap 1 red would be a really good item. In 1 player, it's pretty much useless. Just throw it away. Looking for mushrooms, looking for feathers. Nothing so far for either player. 3 laps in, we haven't had any useful items. Nothing for Eric. Nothing for Zarkov. We're having a very vanilla Choco Island 1. Oh, Zarkov going into the mud. Loses a bit of speed. I mean, Eric didn't have any speed items, but he's still driven a really nice 47. Zarkov, no speed items, is going to get like a 55 out of this. No, he's not boosting, so probably a 56 or 50. Yep. So that's the best part of 9 seconds opened up just on Choco Island 1. As we move on to Ghost Valley 2, this was the track. Yeah, it's a vanilla Choco Island. Oh, and this was the track where Eric ranked out last time. He's missed the zoom start and he's caught in the CPUs. In that position, picking up coins is actually really good because you don't want to be in amongst the CPUs with no coins. So Eric had built quite a nice lead coming out of Choco Island 1, but a portion of that lead has now been given back. Looks like Zarkov's made up about 3 seconds. Oh, a full stop by Eric. That's going to give another 3 seconds or so back to Zarkov. I mean, I do think Eric's raw speed on this track is probably worth 2 seconds. So even though he's probably given away 6 seconds, I still expect him to probably only finish about 4 seconds behind in terms of time on the track. So we got a 58 for Eric. Zarkov coming around in a near 54. So just over 4 seconds between the two of them. So Eric makes it past GV2 at the first attempt. This is already a much better Flower Cup than he had the first time they played Flower Cup. Looks like he has something like a 5 seconds lead, maybe. That's 6 seconds lead to Eric over Zarkov into Donut Plains 2. So there is the mushroom wall hop shortcut you can do on this track. It's not free, though I hear that Eric gets it nearly every time. So if Eric gets a mushroom, I will hope that he goes for the shortcut. With Zarkov, I don't know whether he'd risk it. I don't know how practiced he is at it. But it is looking like a good Donut Plains 2 so far from Eric. Fairly clean, averaging just over 15-second laps. Very good pace. If he can come in anything like a 117, 118, it'll have been a very good Donut Plains 2 for him. Losing a bit of time though on lap 4. And because he was going slow, he was very tight on making that hairpin or not. Lap 5 again, he's missing. He's just driving in the grass a lot. So it was looking like a very good DP2 for Eric. I mean, it's still going to be a good DP2. You're never going to turn down a 120. But he was looking on a 3 or 4 seconds better pace at the end of lap 3. And every second can count in this game. Zarkov getting a 127. So it's going to be about 13 seconds between the two players going into Bowser Castle 2. So what we're looking for on Bowser Castle 2 is feathers. I don't know why I keep saying that about the items that we're looking for, because these players really have not been getting any items whatsoever during this match. I believe, according to the instruction manuals, the moles, as we call them on the Donut Plains tracks, are actually gophers. So they're not Monty Mole, they are some form of gopher. Zarkov is around fairly clean with an 18-second lap. Eric's had some troubles early on, but is cleaning up his driving a little bit now. Coming around about 42, 43 at the end of lap 2. So Zarkov's caught a good 4 seconds back up. He's still a little ways behind here. What you want to do is stay out of the lava and hope you get a feather. Zarkov in the hardest section of the game there. At this speed, it's really hard to get around all these thwomps and around the tight corners without actually catching an edge. So no feather for Eric. Zarkov's going to have one more chance at an item. Oh, he's going to be, yeah, he slowed down a little there. If he hadn't, he might have been bumped from the bumper straight into the lava. Can Zarkov get a feather? No, he can't. So we got a 138 to Eric. So Zarkov's going to lose 2 or 3 seconds on this track. Oh, he's going to lose more than 2 or 3 seconds. Well, unfortunately, I think that is going to be it. MC3. There's not really much that can happen. Unless you miss the zoom start and then get hit by all the CPUs and get into a kind of spin out catastrophe, then it's really a fairly... Oh, wow. Did I really just jinx him that badly? Okay, he avoided the spin outs by cancelling them somehow, because he was getting hit by the CPUs when he was on 0 shrooms, but he seemed to be cancelling the spin outs, probably by getting hit too many times in succession for the game to realise that he should be spinning out. But still behind the CPUs, but with 9 coins, it's a much better situation. Oh, Mario turning invincible right in front of Eric. Just narrowly avoided him. But Eric still has about a lap's lead here. So it's still looking good for Eric. And because he was so slow at the beginning, he's not going to be lapping CPUs constantly the rest of the race. Oh wow, he spun out on the corner. And now the CPUs are back ahead of him. And he fired green. Oh, if that green had hit him. This Eric is not playing this well. He's still got half a lap lead. But there's a green shell bouncing around, potentially. Okay, he looks like he's going to be safe now. That was closer than it should have been. But congratulations to Eric. Eric wins Flower Cup and takes the match. 3 games, or 3 cups to 2. He'll be advancing on to the winners bracket round 4 to face KVD, the tournament favourites. Zarkov will be dropping down to losers round 3, where he'll be facing the winner of Harry Yak and Aaron Longerac. Let me mark the 2 players as done. Okay, that should give them an invite to the chat, so we'll wait and see if either of the 2 players are going to join us for an interview. In fact, I better check to see if we're being hurried off air, because we are over time already. Let's have a look at the schedule. Is there anything due on after us here? Looks like fine. Okay, if they could let us know in chat if either of them are going to jump on for a quick interview. Okay, Zarkov, no chat from Zarkov. Okay, so it looks like Eric is going to hop in for a brief chat. Well, we'll keep it brief because we have already gone 8 minutes over our allotted schedule. I'll just quickly check, make sure that there is nothing on after us on this channel. Yeah, it should be. There should be a Discord link. Actually, no, there won't be a Discord link sent because Eric doesn't have Discord. So there wouldn't have been a link to have been sent anywhere for Eric to hop on, I'm afraid. No, sorry, the way it works is that you need to have a Discord account registered to the player name, so that when we mark it as finished, the bot automatically sends out an invite. Because we didn't have a Discord name, it wasn't added into the bot, so no invite will have been automatically sent out to Eric. So we're gonna have to call it there. But if Eric does have Discord, then what we'll need to do is get it noted for his next match, so that it can actually send out a invite to him. But we'll wrap it up. I believe that the next Super Mario Kart action is going to be tomorrow night at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's midnight Central European Time. And that's going to be between Lafongo, the number 2 seed, and Jarmu, who is the number 7 seed. That has the potential to be a very good match. The winner will go on to face Bat Mallard, the number 3 seed. And that's going to be tomorrow. But in terms of this stream, that's going to be it from me. So I'm going to say goodnight, and I'm going to end the stream, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.